Welcome to Peel Healthy Lifestyles, where we like to showcase individuals and businesses that are really focused on health, fitness, and technology within the region of Peel. Today in the studio, we're joined with Liette. And before we start, hi Liette, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing very well, Nick. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good.
Maybe you can really just let people know who are watching how they can get a hold of you.
Okay.
Maybe some of your contact information before we get started.
Absolutely. So, my name is Liette, and I own Health Energies at 155 Clark Boulevard in Brampton,
Okay.
which is just between West Drive and Dixie. And it's right off the 410. So,
Okay.
410 North, it's a very nice exit for
Right.
people coming from different areas.
Okay, perfect. So maybe we can talk about what Health Energies is and what you actually do.
So Health Energies, what we do is we work with clients. What it is it's a cellular level. It's a mat that introduces pulse electromagnetic field
Okay.
to your cells.
Okay.
And how that works is with the three elements through ion cyclotron resonance, your cells are now getting the three elements that requires for them to become healthier,
Okay.
which is the frequency, intensity, and waveforms.
Okay.
Good waves.
Right.
Very good waves.
Right.
It also, the mat itself, the energy, the frequency it mimics the Earth's magnetic field.
Okay.
So, and it pulses. That's exactly why your cells are more receptive. The cell itself, the cell wall,
Right.
becomes more permeable
Okay.
in order for the ions to go in and out and do what they're supposed to do,
Okay.
so that the cell regenerates to a healthier state. And that means that they're able to talk
Right.
electronically
Right.
and start healing
Okay.
your body naturally.
Naturally. Okay.
Naturally.
So is this? I know that there's a lot of studies that show that like grounding, walking barefoot on the grass. So is this what we're talking about? Is like a supercharged version of?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Like they say, if you go down to any southern beautiful locations with the
Right.
heat and you take off your shoes and walk on the sand and you feel great, you
Right.
feel that energy,
Okay.
that's exactly what it is. It's
Okay.
the Earth's magnetic field
Right.
that you're feeling.
Okay.
So this is what the Sequex mat does through pulse electromagnetic field therapy.
Okay. Interesting. So individuals may be watching, they might be tuning in, and they may not really know what we're talking about, what magnetic pulse is, and is energy. So maybe we can really talk about the Sequex mats
Okay.
and the history of it, maybe where it comes from back from Italy. Can you
Yes.
touch on that?
Yes. So the Sequex originates in Italy. We have just introduced it to Canada a little over a year ago.
Okay.
So it became Health Canada approved.
Okay, fantastic.
Basically for anti-inflammatory. And a lot of people have that issue.
Right.
Microcirculation, extra regeneration. So it really, really helps that way.
Okay.
We, so the two ladies that fought extremely hard
Right.
to introduce Sequex to Canada,
Okay.
they made that happen. They made that by going to Italy quite a few times and
Okay.
talking to the CEO and telling them that we need this in Canada.
Right.
The hospitals need it. Everybody
Everybody
needs it.
for sure.
And
For sure.
he finally agreed, and it was a little bit of, some time before it was agreed upon with
Okay.
with Health Canada to be approved.
Right.
So in Italy, they've been using the Sequex PEMF for 22 years.
Wow. Okay.
It's actually in all the hospitals in Italy, and
Right.
it's government subsidized.
Wow, okay.
What they use it for, they have a designated room where patients that have been diagnosed with cancer
Okay.
will actually go through and take some sessions before they start their chemo.
Wow. Okay.
So it's actually designated, and
Right.
all hospitals have the Sequex mat.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yes, government subsidized. So
Right.
I think it goes a long way
Definitely.
to say that they truly believe in their technology, and we finally have it here.
Right, and
in
so
Canada.
now I guess over the last 22 years, I'm sure that there would have been scientific studies, things that would have been done to really document the health
Absolutely,
benefits.
absolutely.
Right.
We do have a lot of scientific studies
Okay.
done on the Sequex
Is there
mat.
anything that's happened in Canada that like scientific studies or however it got licensed through Health Canada? Like what was the process? How did it?
It was a long process.
Okay.
It was a good, I'm going to say 3 years of
Wow.
working with Health
Okay.
Canada in order to
Okay.
get it approved.
Right.
What we're really proud of now, and I mean, we go to all the health shows. We want to tell people about it,
Right.
and trust us, our clients that do come and see us,
Right.
they feel the benefits.
Right.
They feel better.
Okay.
It is not a cure-all.
Of course.
It's not a cure-all,
course.
but it helps to have a better way of lifestyle, a
Right.
healthier lifestyle.
Definitely.
The firefighters, in Collingwood,
Okay.
Ontario,
Right.
actually, if you look at the firefighters, when they go out and they do their job and they come back, all their clothing actually goes into a big washing machine. It's an extractor.
Okay.
And that cleans, detoxifies everything.
Right.
But the actual firefighter
Right.
doesn't get any of that.
No,
They
definitely
go
not.
home,
Right.
they're stressed, physically, mentally,
Right.
it's very challenging
That's
for
right.
them. And the firefighters, the station in Collingwood actually recognized that and purchased one of our mats so that
Okay.
it's actually stationed there. So when the
Fantastic.
firefighters come back in, they
Right.
actually, they lay down, and the session actually lasts 36 minutes.
Okay.
We can adjust it
Right.
according to,
Accordingly. Okay.
but yeah, so we're very proud of that. We're working extremely hard so that all stations have them. I mean,
Right,
if you
for
look at our professional, career-oriented people, such as police officers, firefighters,
Right.
post office,
Right. Yeah.
what they do is very challenging.
That's right. That's
So
right.
those are the ones like, and everyone else would benefit,
For sure.
definitely benefit.
That's. I think you bring up a great point, which is majority of people aren't really focused on their health. They're just individuals working, providing for their family. They got their own bills, whatever that might be, whatever their lifestyle looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's our focus here is always health through nutrition and fitness.
That's right.
And that's 80 to 90% of the battle right there.
That's right.
And so one of the biggest parts is when people are under high amounts of stress, that stress starts to kind of physically resonate and start to appear as stress, and which then starts to produce free radicals, and it starts to really become toxic to the body. So
Exactly.
anything that we can do that helps to really bring more of a balance to the bodies to help get rid of those free radicals, whether it's through fitness, through nutrition, or through sequence mat, that really helps to kind of really bring that restoration, that rest
Exactly.
to the body, to the cells itself.
Exactly.
So I know you kind of touched on it, but maybe we can just really quickly go over how does it really work, what's happening to the body as we're laying on this mat for 36 minutes.
Okay, so the mat itself, the client really doesn't feel anything. So
Okay.
people hear electronic magnetic field,
Okay.
it's like, oh,
Right.
it's scary type
So
of
it's
thing. But
non-invasive.
non-invasive,
Right.
you don't remove your clothes, you just lay there
Okay.
and you take in. So once we start the session, there's actually, you're surrounded about 2-3 feet of this magnetic frequency
Okay.
that introduces the intensity, frequency, and waveforms
Right.
to your cells.
Okay.
So when your cell is depleted and it's not well, it becomes hardened.
Right.
The ions that spin around the cells,
Okay.
their job is to go in to take out the toxins and put in the nutrients.
Right.
That's their job. When the cell is depleted, the cell membrane itself doesn't become permeable
Right.
anymore.
Right.
So they can't, which means the ions lose
Okay.
energy,
Right.
loses energy. Therefore, the cell cannot work properly and talk to the other cells like they do
Okay.
electronically.
Right.
So they become stackable. It's called a rouleau effect,
Okay.
where nothing penetrates
Right.
it. So it does affect, and the different cells means different autoimmune diseases as well.
Right.
So how it works is just the permeability
Right.
through those 3 elements
Okay.
helps restore the cell
Right.
to a healthier state.
Okay.
And a lot of people tell me that, oh, I just bought the best vitamins.
Right.
I'm great, I'm healthy, best vitamins. I'll tell you honestly right now, whatever you're taking,
Right.
if your cell is not healthy,
Right.
nothing is going into that cell
That's right. That's
because
right.
the permeability is no longer there.
That's right.
So you can consume and consume and consume, but if your cell is not healthy,
Definitely. It's
it
like
doesn't happen.
when people switch their diet and they will, maybe they're meat eaters and become vegetarian or they become vegan or whatever the process is. And, initially for the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they may see something, some kind of a difference. But then there's a point where they kind of stagnate.
Yeah.
And then that's usually the point where, the body's telling you that it is not able to really adapt and really take in that nutrition that you're putting into the food, or putting into
Exactly.
your mouth.
Exactly.
And so those are some changes that need to be kind of made. When you're talking about the magnetic resonance and all that, what comes to mind is is there a custom, I guess, magnetic frequency or a frequency for individuals, or is just one overall frequency? How does that work?
I'm glad you asked that.
Right.
So what's great about CQEX, and by far the best technology introduced to Canada,
Okay.
is that we have the actual machine and we have, it's called a med unit,
Okay.
where we actually create the software.
Okay.
And they're like individual little cards. They look like a little credit card
Right.
where the program sits in this card. So for instance, if you came in and you had problems sleeping,
Okay.
for instance,
Right.
we have a card called Delta. That software is Delta. Has the lowest frequency,
Okay.
but the highest intensity.
Right.
Not going above 100 hertz because it
Okay.
mimics the Earth's magnetic field.
Right.
So because the intensity is low, it brings you down. It settles you down.
Interesting. Okay.
Clients that have used these have had the best sleep ever.
Right.
Others are muscles and tendons for knees and back pain, or
Right.
the rotator cuff type of thing.
Right.
We help with so many different issues.
Issues, injuries.
And we can also, we go a step further with that. We can also do a personalized test on the individual.
Okay.
So by putting electrodes on their hand and their foot,
Right.
we are able to run a test. And through that test, through ion cyclotron resonance,
Right.
the current that goes through the software, will actually feel where the issues are happening in your body,
Oh, right. Okay.
where
Okay.
this is where your cell needs it the most.
Right.
So by the time we're done the test, looking at the reactance and the resistance
Right.
of
Okay.
what's going on with the cell,
Right.
we know that that program is good for that client.
Okay.
So there's no more guessing games. When they
Right.
come in now, it's like, great, we put in their personalized card. That
Right.
test was for them.
Fantastic. Okay.
Unlike any other
Right.
PEMF mats,
Right.
I'm impressed.
That's fantastic.
I'm
So now is
impressed.
this something that we're reviewing? So is this something that we're going to review on a monthly basis, a weekly? Like, how does that?
We usually tell the client for the next 3 months, that's what we use.
Okay.
At which point we'll redo another test.
Right.
And when we do this, we actually save the first one
Okay. So you have
because then we want to see
a baseline.
a baseline
Right.
of what's happened in the last 3 months.
Okay.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
I'm sure that most people, I'm sure your experience with your clientele is that they're receiving immense benefits, especially once like any reduction in inflammation in the body is going to result in dramatic effects.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So maybe you can share about Dr. John, the U.S., and his experience with autism.
Yes. That's an amazing story.
Okay.
So Dr. John
Maybe you can explain who Dr. John is first.
Oh, Dr. John is actually a chiropractor that lives in Connecticut
Okay.
in the United States.
Right.
He actually bought the CQEX mat, and by the way, it is now FDA approved in the States as well.
Fantastic,
So
okay.
that's a good thing.
Okay.
He knew this couple that had 3 children. They were autistic.
Okay.
And autistic children are different in different ways.
Right.
Some have problems with speech, or they're all different. It's
Right.
not the same
That's right.
all the way through. But these 3 had a hard time with their speech patterns.
Okay.
What he did is he conducted an experiment where he was at their home. He put the CQEX mat underneath the sheet so that the children wouldn't ask
know.
what that was.
Right, okay.
And for the weekend, that's what they slept on. By the time he was done, they were picking up books and actually reading it.
Wow.
And the mom, like I still get shivers, but the mom, she was crying because one of her little girls said, "So, Mommy, what does a platypus do?"
Right.
And she was like, "Oh my God!"
Okay.
So
That's great results.
great results,
Right.
great results. So, what we're also doing, and what we're doing in Italy right now
Right.
is working on a software program
Okay.
specifically for autism children.
Wow,
So
fantastic.
they're always doing more and more research.
Right, definitely. I think
Going
that's
through.
the exciting part right now in the 2000s is the usage of science and how it's really advancing health, fitness, and really boosting our information and our resources,
Yeah.
and some of the different technologies that are used around the globe that we don't really get access to for the most part. We don't really hear about it until we experience it ourselves or until we're in need of it. Usually is when most people come across it. As you're
Exactly.
speaking about this, it
Mhm.
kind of really reminds me of like Kangen water machines, which is the whole principle there is to use the ionization process to shrink the water molecules to make them smaller so that they actually help with the permeability of the cellular structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas an average,
right.
when you drink tap water, the molecules are so big that it's usually going down your stomach and going down the throat to your stomach.
Yeah.
Versus a Kangen water, where the molecules are so much smaller that they're being absorbed by your throat as it's going down, so you don't experience that full feeling, right? And the whole idea is with the water permeability entering the cellular structure, it makes it more permeable,
That's
which is
right.
then helping to reduce the autoimmune inflammation,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to help the healing process and help the body to really facilitate healing, which is what we're really talking about here. is
Exactly.
We want the body to come to a natural state where it's relaxed and it's able to really heal itself.
That's right. Because we can.
Right.
Our bodies are made to heal
Right.
in a natural state.
That's right.
And
That's right.
not with the need of all these different medications
For sure.
and we don't take away from that.
Right.
We're not doctors.
Right.
So there are quite a few times where you need that
For
in
sure.
order to alleviate some pain.
Definitely.
We also don't take away from chiros or masseuse therapy. We work hand in hand
Right.
with them.
Right.
So if they're doing all of this, and then you introduce the CQX,
Right.
you're going to have a speedier recovery for
That's
sure.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's it. I think a lot of times we're just kind of growing up in North America through the media, through everything that we consume. Sometimes we're so focused on pharmaceuticals and just going to the doctor, and that's really the resource. Where I think we're headed into a place now where people are really looking for health steps, things that they can do on their own that would really help to
Exactly.
put their health in their own hands,
Exactly.
and to kind of empower themselves. And that's really what this is, one of those tools
Exactly.
where you can use this tool, and then there's science that's really backing up, there's data backing up what's actually happening with your body, and you get to
Exactly.
see those dramatic
Exactly.
benefits.
Exactly.
Maybe you can share some, maybe some stories or some clients that may have had some really drastic health benefits, or just some health benefits in general, of maybe before and after kind of scenario.
Sure. One of I'm not sure if you're familiar with Gary Roberts.
No.
Hockey player.
The hockey player, yes,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
His testimonial is
Okay.
one of the most powerful. What it has done for him. In terms of where I work, my clients, excuse me, my clients that come in, they come in regularly.
Okay.
So I see them depending on their health, if they're chronic or not. I want to see them twice a week, and I
Right.
let them know ahead of time.
Okay.
You need to commit to this,
Right.
because one session, honestly,
Right.
is not really going to make a difference. You may feel some relief.
Okay.
I think what a lot of people say to me is, "Wow, I slept so well last night.
Right.
What did you give me?"
Right.
And they, because you're detoxifying, the client also feels that they go to the bathroom more often
often,
because
right.
they're detoxifying.
Right.
So those are the two that they talk about a lot.
Okay.
I have some yoga instructors
Right.
that I've met, and they come in and it's their knees.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
they're working hard, really hard, and their knees, and it's what I hear. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this! I can flex my knees. It's
Wow.
you know,
Okay.
it doesn't mean that it's gone forever,
Right.
but it gives you that relief.
Definitely.
Definitely. So
Okay.
I have different types of clients, and by far, yeah, they're all very
Okay.
impressed with how they feel, the energy they get.
Right.
And it's amazing because when they get off the mat and they come out, and they seem to be more alive and more alert.
I'm more alert. Right.
And I see
Right.
that
Okay.
immediately. I
Okay.
see that immediately.
Interesting.
And when they say they feel something different and they feel good,
Right.
that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I think that's with the alternative health model. The idea is that it's not like Western medicine where we want the doctors, they want to see you repeatedly. As alternative health practitioners, the idea is that we don't want to see you,
That's right.
and it's a different mindset versus
right, yeah.
going into the doctor and on a weekly basis, monthly basis. When I first started going to an allopath and a naturopath and a homeopathic doctor, my homeopath, she never wants to hear from us, right? And so she's always very upfront about it. So when we
Yeah.
call her, say, okay, what's going on, right?
Yeah,
Because she doesn't want to hear from us,
Yeah.
and then she knows that she's doing her job.
that's right.
And so it's a different model, and it's a different paradigm and a mindset that we as consumers, but also as people in general, have to really kind of make that jump and the shift in the mindset.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, perfect. So as we start to kind of wrap up, Liette, maybe you can share some of your website, maybe some contact info, how people can get a hold of you.
Okay. So our website is healthenergies.com.
Okay.
My personal email is liette.l@healthenergies.com. Yep, you can go to our website. Actually, all the testimonials are there.
Perfect.
We have we have 3 locations
Okay.
right now. I'm in Brampton.
Right.
We just opened up in Vaughan.
Okay.
I'm really happy to hear that.
Right.
And then there's the one in Collingwood, which
Okay.
is both Health Energies and Health Wellness Industries.
Okay.
And Health Wellness are the 2 ladies that
Right.
have the rights to bring in the mats to
Okay.
Canada.
Perfect.
So we have those locations, but we also have on our website, we have other locations as well where it's not an actual wellness center per se,
Okay.
but it's a different individual that may have rented a room
Okay.
in a
Right.
wellness center
Right.
where they're actually promoting the Sequex mat as well.
Right.
All the locations are there on our
Okay.
website, and
Fantastic.
testimonials, and
Okay.
yeah,
Perfect.
lots of information.
So you know what? As we wrap up, if you want to get a hold of Liette, we'll put her contact information below, as well as in the post, so that way you can reach out to her, reach out to the website, get in touch with her. Really get in touch and experience the health benefits of resonance therapy and electromagnetic therapy, and
That's
really,
right.
Once you kind of get into that state of where you're not as inflamed, you'll notice some really drastic health changes and health benefits.
Absolutely. When we give a client a session, it's usually 36 minutes.
Right.
And for the first time that I meet the client, I usually ask them to allow me an hour because they do have to fill out an intake form.
Right.
I want to know more about them, what
Okay.
their ailments are, their issues, what's going on. And I work one-on-one with them.
Okay.
It's not like you go lay on the mat and I'll see you in 36
Right.
minutes. No, I'm going to be in there with you, and we're
Right.
going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff
Right.
and really help with the magnets, and we have a probe which
Okay.
targets these specific areas.
Okay.
The 36 minutes has 9 different steps to it.
Okay.
So from the 1st to the 9th, each step lasts 4 minutes. And then
Wow,
again,
okay.
that could be changed. We can
Right.
actually work with the client with that. We
Okay.
can make it longer. We can change that. But every 4 minutes, so the first step
Right.
will have one frequency, one intensity, and a waveform,
Okay.
a wave pattern.
Right.
The waveform is actually the sign, but there's different wave patterns
Right.
and forms. So that's one. For 4 minutes, that's what your body is getting.
Okay.
Then it'll go to step 2. The intensity will change, the frequency will change, the waveform will change.
Okay.
And it does that because at each step, if step 1, that waveform didn't penetrate the cell,
Right.
step 2 has a different waveform.
Okay.
So it could be the sawtooth, it could be the square tooth.
Right.
We want it to permeate the cell. So each step up to 9
Right.
is different.
Okay.
And it is specifically programmed for, let's say, muscles and tendons,
Right.
fractures and wounds,
Okay.
microcircular, anti-inflammatory,
Right.
osteoporosis, arthritis.
Fantastic.
Yes. So each
Fantastic.
program, according to all the research they've done in
Right.
Italy,
Right.
that's exactly how they know that by that research and that program,
It's gonna work.
that's going to work.
Right.
So that's why we're able to, it's not just one frequency, one intensity.
Right.
It's a lot of different steps. And that's where it's really interesting.
Right.
And the fact that we do personalized tests,
Right. Okay.
it's,
It's you know
Yeah,
it's
it's-
when most people, like the average person, when they hear about alternative health therapies, anything that's outside of the norm, they always approach it with some kind of resistance and hesitancy, and like it's some kind of wacky science, right?
yes.
Which could be, it's like totally opposite because it's so science based.
Yeah.
It's like, homeopathy, where homeopathy was the medicine of Canada up until the 70s. And now the dosages are so minuscule that they're not even considered food. Like
Yeah.
they don't even grade it because it's like the dilution amounts are so minimal.
Yeah.
And then, there's obviously questions about the efficacy of homeopathy. Is it working, is it not working? But
That's right.
the majority of people that would take any kind of homeopathic remedy would swear by it. And
Exactly.
anything that we can do, especially myself, anything that I can do that is less pills and more hands-on, practical, science-based, I'm in, right? And I think that's kind of the attitude that most people aren't approaching it with. And so they're really hesitant at that point. But I think it's all of these alternative health therapies, they all have their own place. And the idea is prevention.
Exactly.
And so I think I've said this before, and even when I sit with families, if you're having a heart attack, you go to the hospital. But if you don't want the heart attack, the hospital's not where you go,
That's right.
right? So that's where naturopaths and
Yeah, that's true.
nutritionists, and that's where.
That's
So what we're talking about is we
Yeah.
want to do prevention.
Yes.
We want to be as healthy and optimal as possible when it comes
Exactly.
to our health, when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to fitness. We want to be the best version of ourselves, and so anything that helps us to kind of get us to that, that's what we're looking at. And it's like Olympians, right? We never really look at ourselves as Olympians, but the amount of work that we're doing on a daily basis, it's a lot of work, right? And that's why we're stressed out, and that's why we don't have time to eat, and that's why we don't have time to cook and prepare meals. And so we're ordering out, and we're takeout food and whatever it is, right? Just
That's
to kind
right.
of get the just that timing.
Yeah.
And so anything that we can do to help prevent, especially inflammation, because we know that that's basically the biggest.
It is.
The biggest culprit, I guess, of what we
It
should
is.
say.
It
For
is.
all of these symptoms that we call diseases, but they're really symptoms, and they're symptoms of inflammation.
That's right.
So anything that we can do helps.
That's right.
Right.
That's
so
right.
What this sounds like, the Sequex mats, is just another extension of a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly.
And using that to really help the body heal itself, get it into its more natural state.
Exactly.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add that we may not have touched on? I know we touched on a lot of different topics.
We have. I'm sure there's a lot more
Right.
that off the top of my head. I think we've pretty well touched base on very important.
Perfect.
Very important. Although you had asked, people are they're not sure about it.
Right.
they're not familiar with it.
Right, right.
It's new.
Right.
They need to give it a chance.
For sure.
And what I hear a lot too is people, when they go in to see a chiro, it's your skeletal.
Right.
So he's hands-on and he's adjusting you and everything's
right.
great, you feel great. Masseuse, muscular.
Right.
So you go in an hour later, oh my gosh, it feels great.
Right.
The Bowen treatment, I
Right.
don't know if you've heard of that,
Right.
but
Yeah.
that's your nerves.
That's right.
So your nerves are actually it's attached to your fascia.
Right.
So the Bowen treatment is another one too that it's again,
Okay.
it's you're touching people. When you do the sequex,
Right.
you're just laying there
That's right.
and you're not seeing anything and you're not feeling that. So a
Right.
lot of people say, well, what just happened?
Right.
Nothing
exactly.
happened.
Right.
A lot happened.
Right.
A lot happened.
That's right.
And again, using the magnets and positioning them where they should be, and the probe, which targets the actual area,
Right.
that by far does absolutely a lot. We also have a little device, and it's a, I'm sorry if I lost the word for it, but it's a little box that
Okay.
you don't feel anything, but when we turn it on, you actually hear the magnetic field.
Wow.
So while it's pulsing, because you don't want to give your cells 100% all the time.
Right.
Your cells don't like that.
Right.
They
Okay.
don't like receiving a lot of information at 100%.
Okay.
That's why it's called pulse electromagnetic field.
Right.
It pulses, it gives you a little bit, then it backs off. So through
Okay,
this,
interesting, right.
when we turn it on, you could actually hear it.
Wow. Okay.
You could actually hear the electronic
Right.
field. So
Amazing.
it's amazing. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Mhm.
Okay. So you know what? I think we're at our time for
Okay.
today.
All right.
Definitely, if you have any questions, please reach out to Liette. So, as we wrap up, I just want to thank you again for viewing Peel Healthy Lifestyle Show. Remember our show on June 1st. We'd love to see you there. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to us as well as Liette.
Yes.
And for that, we're signing out and have a great day. Thank you.